So again, welcome. You're here with, this is the Renew You 2022 presentation, supporting healthy eating. I'm Afia Bediako with WorkWell NYC, and I'm serving as the moderator today. And you see my colleagues who you'll be hearing from on the session, Kathleen and Mercy and Beatrice, who we'll get a testimonial from, and you'll get to speak with all of them in a little while. So I first want to introduce WorkWell NYC. I'm hopeful that you might have some familiarity with WorkWell NYC, but in case you haven't, I'll still give this introduction. WorkWell NYC is the City of New York's employee wellness initiative, and WorkWell NYC offers services, resources, and programs to help city employees move more, eat well, take action to prevent and manage disease, be well, supporting mental well-being and resilience, and also aims to support health equity through our Project Build initiative. So today on the agenda, I will offer a brief introduction about the partnership between WW and WorkWell NYC, and my colleagues will share about cultivating a healthy mindset. We'll hear from an employee about her journey, learn about rethinking healthy eating using some the principles that WW offers, and then lastly, how to join WW. So I will just give a brief introduction to the partnership between WW and WorkWell NYC. And for those who might not know, WW was previously Weight Watchers. So WW, Weight Watchers Reimagined, and the City of New York have a partnership. So together with the New York City Employee Benefits Program and the city's unions, WorkWell NYC has partnered with WW to provide employees discounted membership rates. And there are also discounted rates available to family members of city employees. And WW offers a science-based program, digital tools, and an inspiring community to bring wellness into everyday life. And you're going to hear more about that.
Okay, so I guess this is my part, guys. Welcome. I'm WW Coach Mercy. I'm based in New Jersey. I'm a wellness coach, and I'm excited to share with you guys today about how to shift your mindset. This is something that's really important for all of us, whether you're a WW member or not, or in your wellness journey in general. So we're going to talk about your mindset and what it is, and basically we're trying to have this conversation is just how to recognize how what you think impacts what you do, which impacts what you feel, and then what you do. So we're going to explore about what that means. So the components of a mindset, believe it or not, are three different things that we focus on that really helps us. At the foundation of our mindset is our awareness of our thoughts, our feelings, our actions. And in order to change our thoughts and our behaviors, you have to be aware of how that's impacting you and what they are. And this is a great place to start. The first component is how you think about your journey. This could be anything that you're finding yourself in, whether it's your WW journey, your wellness related journey. It could be your overall goals, your family, careers, your lifestyle, any goals that you want to achieve, pretty much anything. So this is applicable to all of us. And when we're thinking about our wellness overall, we want to be realistic and also flexible about what we're doing, really taking that bigger picture in mind. And this is going to be really helpful, especially when things don't go our way. How do we face those challenges, right? And some of the ways that we do this and to be able to shift our mindset into a much more helpful way is to start recognizing and talking back to what's called a fixed mindset. And also maybe even a practice of gratitude to help us connect with what's going well instead of just getting stuck with focusing on what kind of not going so well. And the next component of a mindset is the way you think about yourself. Research shows that when we're thinking about ourselves, if we are able to accept ourselves for where we are right now, we're more likely to make healthier choices in the moment that are going to really make some changes to help you out. So meeting our members' needs. This is one of the biggest barriers on our journey in cognitive baggage or mindset is what we can call that. Things like lack of sleep, your stress levels, other factors that have indirect effects on our overall wellness. can really impact us. And the bottom line here, guys, is that we know for a fact that happier people make healthier choices, right? And mindset activities can actually be easier and more enjoyable and less reliance on that willpower if we think forward thinking with our goals, things to build our confidence so that we can be more, we can just get a lot more things accomplished over time. So as mentioned earlier, how you think affects what you do. Therefore, what you think is what you feel. I mean, it's just a lot of things can really impact that. And so one of the ways that we can shift our mindset is to just recognize it, right? By practicing these techniques that help you embrace your challenges and turn any setbacks into a learning opportunity, it's going to really help you. We often say it's called flip the slip, right? Take that mindset, turn it around. What can you take control of, right? And practicing this is going to help you identify ways that you can be more self-aware, have a little more self-compassion for yourself, a little more gratitude. And this way it helps you stay focused on what really matters so that you can take some of those things and just become a happier person. And as you know, happier people make better choices, right? So there are many techniques that people can use to kind of shift towards that helpful mindset and be able to bring it to life. The first part of it is, treating yourself with kindness and compassion. Believe it or not, recognizing that no one is perfect and that you don't have to be really allows us to kind of expand and do better. And this is especially interesting because many of us think that we must be really hard on ourselves in order to stay motivated, right? Kind of like a drill sergeant. You just got to be on you. But research shows that the opposite happens. So we have we also have a natural tendency to kind of focus on what's not going so well. And so by shifting our focus on what's working, no matter how small, right? Those non-scale victories, those proud moments that you can say to yourself, all right, that's one good choice, will help you see that bigger picture so that you can really capitalize on really what's in your way, right? And also by paying attention to our thoughts and learning how to shift those thoughts, right? Kind of turn it around a little bit more to a much more helpful way is going to help you make better choices for yourself. And of course, finally, when we're able to look at challenges and setbacks in a growth-oriented perspective, right? It can help us identify what led to the challenges and finding some ways that we can work around it, right? And so WW's membership is one of the countless benefits that you'll receive with also a lot of many techniques that we offer to help shift the way that you think to a more helpful mindset. And it's going to help, these things will help resonate with you in any situation, really. So how to shift your mindset. So digging a little deeper into this conversation is basically identifying what works and what doesn't. And our mindset is part of that. So how to recognize fixed mindset versus your growth mindset, right? How do you identify the both? So your mindset is formed by the thoughts that you have on a regular basis running through your mind, right? We have a lot of these thoughts always moving around. The growth and the fixed mindset are just the two ways we categorize those mindsets so that we can recognize it. So one of the ways that when we have a fixed mindset, we have this tendency to believe that, nothing can change, right? And it makes it hard to kind of grow from there. And it's really difficult. But when we have a growth mindset, right? It makes us believe that we are capable of change. And when you have that, you believe that with some effort, you can actually improve. And that's really powerful. And also an individual's mind, right? It's not set in stone. So being able to know that you can just, loosen the slack a little bit is going to help you turn that mindset in from that fixed into that growth mindset. So how is this relevant to our overall wellness? Well, when we're facing challenges or setbacks, a person with that growth mindset is going to respond without the self-judgment, right? And then we're going to ask ourselves different questions in many situations, so that we learn how to respond to it with new conversations of ways to move forward. But then, guys, with a fixed mindset, believe it or not, we're more likely to talk unkind to ourselves or blame ourselves or believe that we're not capable of change or doing that whole, oh, there I go again. This is how I do it. All right, so we're going to do this thing. We're going to put this into practice today. Are you guys ready for this? So this is something that we do so that you guys can recognize the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So I'm going to be launching 3 different polls. And it's going to ask you a question. And so you guys are going to answer the question in the poll, and then we'll get an idea of where everybody in this this webinar is. Okay, so I'm going to launch the first one. Hold on one moment. I got to pull up my poll here. Here's the first one right here. Here it goes. All right, that should be in front of you. It says, when approaching a general new experience or setback, which one sounds more like you? Oh, let's see if you can identify the growth mindset. That's what we're looking for, actually. Oh, I don't know where to start. I can't do this. The next one says, I've never done something like this, but maybe I'm ready to learn. And then the next one says, I'm never going to be able to do this. So choose which one of those relates to you. Guys, do you see how to answer that? Because I think I see a B, or C. Yeah, there's no options available. So you know what? If you type in chat, which one would be you, I can actually identify it. All right, I'm going to stop that share. All right, looking at your chat there, the majority of you are noticing the growth mindset is, I've never done something like this, but I'm ready to learn. Good job. Good job. Well done. All right, so the next way to identify growth mindset. So I'm going to share this one with you as well. So let's see if you can see this in front of you. And I want you to, in the chat, choose A, B, or C, or 1, 2, 3, whatever works for you. When considering joining a gym, which one is the growth mindset? Oh, I think someone was able to click on that. Very good. That one's working. All right. Thank you, guys. You either, I can join a gym, but I don't know how to use any of the equipment, or you know what? People are going to laugh at me. I don't know how to use this stuff. Oh, that feels weird. Or the growth mindset might be, I can join a gym at first and I can ask somebody to help me. Well done. All right. I'm going to end this poll. Sorry if you didn't get a chance to hit that, but in a moment, we have more than half the room. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, because the majority of you did recognize that the growth mindset here is, hey, I can join a gym and I can ask somebody to help me out. Good job. See, there's a way for me to share so you guys see what I was just looking at. Perfect. All right, one more to go to identify the growth mindset. Hold on one moment. It is this one. Here we go. All right. I know for a fact, if you have Girl Scouts in your life, you fall into this category, but after eating a sleeve of cookies, which one of these would be considered a growth mindset? Wow, I blew it. There's no eating healthy here. Or is it the, ooh, I didn't plan to eat these, but that doesn't mean I've, hold on one second, I make it bigger. Doesn't mean I can't still make healthier choices, right? Or is it, I have no self-control. This is just the way I am. All right, guys, I can tell that you guys have gotten the picture of what the growth mindset is. I'm going to stop the poll here and share these results with you. As you can see, 88% said, hey, I can tell the growth mindset here is, I didn't plan to do this, but I can still make healthier choices. Stop that share. All right, so you guys are can totally see where we're coming with this. And now I'm going to teach you guys something that's really powerful when it comes to shifting your mindset. We have this technique that anybody can use about how to change the way you think, right? It's called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is just a great way to kind of help us become present in the moment, right? So before we get started and I show you guys how to work this technique, I want you to identify, how do you feel right now? Sometimes we're here in this webinar, but we're already thinking about, oh, I got to go get this. I need to go do that. I have to do this. I have to do that. So I want you to identify how you feel right now. And when I end this technique with you, I want to see if you were able to bring yourself closer to where we are right now in this moment. All right. So here's how it goes. Ready? It's called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This technique is going to be helpful especially if you're not a meditation type person. This is just another way to bring you closer to how you feel right now. So we're going to begin by taking a deep breath in and then letting that breath out, right? And I want you to look around your space, and I want you to, in your mind's eye, 5 things that you can see. So look around your space and identify in your mind's eye 5 things you can see and list them. Ready? Look around your space. Could be things that you look the same, colors, shapes. Keep that breathing going. And now I want you to pinpoint around your space 4 things you physically can touch, right? You feel it, right? Maybe you notice the temperature of the air in the room, the fabric on your clothing, the sensation of you sitting in your chair, or if you're standing, the feeling of your feet and the gravity on the floor. Our next step is take a moment now, and I want you to pay attention, and I want you to see if you can hear three things that you can hear around you. You can close your eyes if you want, or you can just take notice of three sounds that you hear in your space right now. Let's keep that breathing going. Ready? In, out. And now I want you to note two things or items that you can smell. If you have your coffee near you, take a smell of your coffee. Maybe you have some essential oils that you keep at your desk for stressful situations. Take a whiff of that. Maybe your hand lotion, right? Sometimes you put that scented lotion, kind of brings you into the moment, right? And the final step of this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is one thing you can taste. So if you have your coffee, your tea, maybe you were eating your lunch, or maybe it's something else, sip of your water, and notice one thing you can taste. I'll taste my coffee. Oh, that's always good, right? And now I want everybody to recognize how you're feeling right now. I'm just curious, type this in chat if you feel a little bit more grounded and more present in the moment than before we started this technique about bringing you into the moment. I want to see, aha, look at that. Anyway, Kathleen, you want to read some of those out loud?
I'd love to. I know I feel like cooked spaghetti. So we see grounded, calmer, peaceful, more relaxed.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Right.
more aware.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, these are just some of the things that we do that really can help move you forward. And hopefully with this, not only does it make you feel more grounded or anything like this, but I hope that you're able to practice this technique so that when you're feeling stressed, or maybe you have trouble settling in before bed, or maybe you got off of a phone call that got you really tweaked, right? You know, sometimes you get really overwhelmed. Having this moment to bring you down will take your hot mind into a cool mind, which helps you make better choices. So I'm really thankful for being a part of this today with you guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time to share with us. So I'm going to turn it to Kathleen now. Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mercy. That was so helpful. So hopefully you all found value in just learning a little bit about helping shift your mindset. So now I'm very excited to introduce our guest speaker, Beatrice. So Beatrice is an employee for the city of New York. She works as the senior advisor in external affairs for the Department of Social Services. And I don't want to steal her thunder, but Beatrice has a wonderful story about her journey on WW and journey to health and wellness, which I'll let you share. Thank you so much, Beatrice.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be part of this presentation today. And I saw in some of the names in the chat that a lot of my colleagues from DSS, HRA, DHS are here. Thank you guys for supporting and being here. I am a big fan of WW. I'm a huge fan of WorkWell. I'm a WorkWell ambassador, and I've been participating for the last 4 years on the September challenge. I can get, those of that share my floor know that I can get a little competitive, but that's what it's all about. I love the STEP challenge and how it brings everybody in the city together. So my health journey. My health journey has been a very long one. I have had a lot of issues and dealt with issues with obesity for maybe 20 years of my adult life, even though I look 20 right now. In 2018, I had a brain aneurysm rupture, and I had a brain bleed, and I was in the hospital for a long time. And I was blessed to survive that experience intact. That's a very, very unlikely case. People that do survive, there's about a 50% mortality rate. People that do survive do end up with some kind of cognitive or physical challenge. I was able to come out of that intact. And I made a promise to my body for taking me through that experience that I was gonna take care of it the best way I could. And I started moving every day and focusing on home cooked meals. A year after that, I had my physical, and I learned that my A1C numbers were high and I was in a pre-diabetic state. And up to that point, I felt that exercise and home cooking were enough, and that I really didn't need to lose weight. I had tried to lose weight before, and my weight loss journeys were a little traumatic. So I didn't want to get into that. But I said, I committed to my body, and my body is telling me right now that in order to balance my blood sugar, I need to lose some weight. So on a quiet Friday in November 2019, here in the office, I went to the WorkWell website and I signed up for WW. In 15 months, I lost over 50 pounds on WW. I actually was able to leverage the time and that we were telecommuting to do additional exercise and movement, which really helped my journey. And I just had my physical last November, and my A1C numbers are amazing. All my health markers are really, really good. And everything that I wanted to accomplish with my health, I was able to accomplish in partnership with WW, my doctor, and a few amazing people in my life. So what worked this time and what led to my success? Everything you're talking about mindset really helped me. I used to be the kind of person that felt that in order to lose weight, I had to deprive myself. Well, this time I lost weight having the most decadent diet ever. I literally ate everything. I measured it, I tracked it, I monitored how it impacted my body, but I ate everything. So there was no food that was out of the table. I fell in love with movement. I started moving and seeing how different forms of exercise impacted my body. Before, I only worked out, expecting a physical change and did not focus on the process. But now I am enjoying the process, and I am literally addicted to exercise. And it was just really about opening up, releasing any kind of beliefs that I had about who I was supposed to be and how I was supposed to engage in this journey, and just taking it one day at a time, being kind to myself. There were weeks that I went up even if I did everything right. There were weeks that I went down even if I overate. Sometimes the body can be unpredictable, and it was just one day at a time. I am now training for the New York City Marathon. I am doing the 9+1 program, and I am 45, and I never ever ran in my life. This is my first time ever that I'm running, and I'm going all the way to the New York City Marathon. I'm training several times a week, and when it comes to movement, it's about getting creative. I haven't been in a gym in 2 years because of COVID. So I have found ways to leverage the WW app and the workouts that it has, moving meditations in the WW app to increase my movement. So it's not just about the eating. The tools that WW provides, there's a lot of mindset change tools. There is a social component with Connect. So you get to learn from the stories of other people. There are tons of recipes. I like to spontaneously cook, but sometimes I get stuck and I need to get out of my rut. So I go to the app and I look for recipes there. And there's also, if you track, there's an extra motivation because you get wellness points and you can cash those points for little rewards. So I got a bunch of exercise gear. I have these headbands now for running in winter that I got from WW. And during the worst times of the quarantine, I traded those WW points for food donations to help people that may not have access to food. I mean, we do here in DSS that as part of our work, but if we can expand the scope of our support, that's even better. So in a nutshell, it's been a challenging but incredibly rewarding journey. And I've been at goal. Now I'm going to be at goal for a year next February. And it's been amazing. And with my running, I needed to eat a little bit more because you can train for running and eat too little. So I actually worked with my doctor and WW to change my goal and added a few more pounds to my weight goal so that I could eat in a way, maintain my goal and eat in a way that supports my running training. So there's also that flexibility. You can, if you're healthy at a higher weight than your BMI says, you can work with your doctor and change your goal with WW. So that's my story.
Thank you so much, Beatrice, for sharing your really inspiring story, and best of luck to you on the New York City Marathon. I can't wait to hear about it, and congratulations on all your success. So now I'm going to take us through just some aspects of rethinking healthy eating. What I'm going to share with you is a lot of things that you can learn with WW, but if you're interested in becoming a member with us, or even just for your own wellness knowledge, these are some helpful tips that you can take away, even if you aren't a WW member or want to join. So just to live a healthy lifestyle in general, there's 4 major components. And at WW, we celebrate all of these. All of these are highly focused on. So we have nutrition, make sure helping our members eat healthy and lose weight. That's what we're certainly known for. Activity, getting enough activity into your day. You don't have to be a marathon runner, but just making those little incremental improvements with incorporating more activity is super helpful. You can be doing running or walking, or even something as simple as gardening. That's still getting you moving. Mindset, we heard a lot about that. Happier people make healthier choices. So that's something important for at WW, is helping our members get into a more helpful mindset to make better choices when it comes to their health. And sleep. I know when I don't get enough sleep, I'm more likely to eat out. I'm less likely to go for that run I had planned. So getting the appropriate amount of sleep definitely has a huge impact on your overall health, and just something to be aware of, and also something that WW helps with on the program. So our program, so we've been around for a long time. And one of the things that people most often ask about is points. And what I'm going to share with you is just how the point system works at WW, but also take this information and apply it to like what you're cooking tonight. It's super helpful and easy to remember, even if you're not becoming a member. So personal points, like I said, we've been around since the 60s, and WW stays in lockstep with the latest science. We look to the scientific community, the World Health Organization, FDA, American Heart Association, American Diabetes Association, on where to go for the latest science. That's why we do make some changes with our plan about every 2 years, so that we stay incredibly close to the latest data when it comes to nutrition and weight loss. Okay, so what are points? So at WW, every food imaginable, we assign a points value to it. And that's because we just want to take, there's so much complex information that goes into a food, and we really want to take that mental gymnastics out of the equation so that we have one simple, easy to understand number when it comes to the amount of points a food has. So how does it work at WW? What's our algorithm? So essentially calories, that establishes the baseline of how many points that food is going to be. And then foods that are high in saturated fat and added sugar is actually going to increase the value of that points value of that food. And foods that are high in protein, especially those lean proteins that keep us healthier and keep us full longer, that is going to drive down the points value of that food. Also fiber, foods that are high in fiber and high in unsaturated fats, those healthy fats that are good for us, and also natural sugars, that's going to drive down the points value of that specific food. Okay, so you can see it in action here. What you can see on this page is options with no added sugar. That's going to be clearly lower in points. So just like, if you're at the office and there's some snacks on the table, you see jelly beans or raisins, you can automatically make that decision for yourself. While jelly beans are certainly not off the table on the WW plan, it's just more in moderation. So this is just how these behavior changes can help you when making the right, more helpful choice. And whole grains, that is going to be less points because it is higher in fiber. And healthy fats, you can see this example here, cheese versus almonds. While they both are high in fat content, the cheese is high in the saturated fat and the almonds have healthy fats that are good for you. So just helping to make those choices is really helpful. And personalized plans. So this is a new part of the WW experience. I didn't mention, so every food imaginable is assigned a points value at WW, but there are some foods that have a value of 0. And this is because they're low risk of overeating, but also good for you. So if you're coming to WW wanting to be a member, everyone fills out their personal questionnaire. It's asking, just getting to know you. What's your current lifestyle like? What kind of foods do you like? So we then put together your own curated 0 points food list. And this is going to be specific to you. You get to choose those healthy foods that are good for you that are going to be 0 points. And so you really can take control of your own personal experience. I myself don't like avocados. That can potentially be a 0 point food for me, but I don't eat them that much because I'm strange. Everyone loves avocados, but for me, I would prefer to have potatoes and whole wheat pasta as my 0 point choices. So if we all went out to a big ball or dinner together, we're all going to have a very different list of 0 points foods. That's going to be individualized to each of us. But the key word here is joy. We want you to eat the foods that you enjoy eating, but are good for you. And adding points. This is something that not even when it comes to WW, you can just keep in mind. Reaching for a cup of non-starchy vegetables. That's always going to be the healthier option and just a good behavior to have. Drinking 60 fluid ounces a day, getting some more steps, more activity into your day. On the WW plan, everyone gets a budget that they can use per day. And this is based on your current weight, your height, your gender and age, metabolic rate. We take that all into consideration and give you your own personal budget. So for example, a 6'2" man I'm 5'3". We're both going to have very different nutritional needs. So that's why we have our own individualized budget. So we can actually add back points to our day by doing these healthier behaviors on the WW plan, but something to live by too. If you're not on WW, it's always good for anybody to have more non-starchy vegetables, drink more water, and get more steps in. So, when you're going home to build a meal tonight, some things that you can take into consideration just when you want to have like a template for building a healthy plate, here's some things to think about. So I mentioned like 0 point foods, starting with a 0 point food. So typically think of your non-starchy vegetables and fruits. Those are going to be for everybody, essentially a 0 point food. So bulk up, if you're having dinner, bulk up on a lot of non-starchy veggies and then add a protein. So a lean protein. So think fish, some shellfish, skinless chicken breast, skinless turkey breast. Those would be great options for lean protein. If you're eating a more plant-based diet, tofu or beans, that would be a nice lean protein to have. And then add a grain to it as well. Incorporate some grains like rice, quinoa, some whole grains, farro, like I said, quinoa, brown rice, or even if you don't want a grain, use a potato instead. And then this is where it's really important. Bump up the flavors, switch it up, different nights. You can still have chicken multiple nights during the week, but you can add different flavors to each meal. So really adding some spices and some different flavor and seasonings into the meal is very important to keep it interesting and delicious. And some healthy fats, so olive oil, add some avocado, some pine nuts on your salad. Those are all like healthy options for just adding some incorporating healthy fats into your meal when you're thinking about building it. Okay, some more features just on the WW app. You heard Beatriz and Mercy mention just a few that might be interesting. We heard about Connect, our social media within the WW app. I won't go through all of these, but clearly we have so many. Within the WW app, we have food tracking, sleep tracking, activity. You can even track your water if you'd like. And while you're doing that, you're earning what we call wellness wins. So that's rewards for, while it's losing weight, if that's a goal of yours on the program, that's wonderful. And if you're achieving your goals, we want you to do that. But WW rewards you for the behaviors, the healthy behaviors that you're putting into play, like interacting with the app, tracking your food, getting your steps in. And when you're doing this, you're earning wellness wins that will over time unlock different rewards. So some lower tier rewards would be like some cool products to our store, a water bottle, exercise band, lots of great like kitchen utensils on our WW store. I see Mercy's got a cookbook up there. So that's just one of the options that you can get. And if you really get a lot, that can open experiences like getting a massage. I'm sure we could all use that. And other like a gift card to Rent the Runway. There's lots of different options on there, so you can pick out something you like. But what's very cool about, I think, the WW community as a whole, actually, most of our members end up using their wins to donating fresh fruits and veggies to families in need. So you have the option to do that as well. What's in your fridge? That's what we see right now on the screen. It's basically like an episode of Chopped. If you have like just a can of beans, some frozen veggies. I know a lot of the grocery stores are a little sparse these days. So if you only have a few things in your pantry, plug it into the app and it'll churn out some healthy recipe options for you. We have tons of recipes in the app. If you're like plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, kosher, gluten-free, dairy-free, over 10,000 different recipes are within the app. So you can find something that's delicious and within your dietary needs for you. 24/7 chat with a coach, any question, anytime. It's not a bot or an AI. You can actually chat with a coach. If you're just having challenges or you just want to know how many points are in a smoothie, you have the option to do that. Okay, I'll keep going just for the sake of time. But as you can see, we do have a lot of cool features within the WW app. Now I'm just going to share how to join WW. So how to join, you can go to www.com/US/NYC. That's where all this information is housed about the program. And it'll also have a breakdown of these 3 different program options available. So the city of New York WorkWell NYC generously covers over 50% of the cost of these 3 programs for their employees. So I'll go through each one, but then also know that your spouse, domestic partner, adult dependents, and if retirees, they get a preferred pricing of this amount for each of these different programs. So they still get a significant discount as well. So the digital plan is everything that I just mentioned within the WW app. That is $7 a month. Digital 360, this is a little bit of an upgrade. You have access to everything in the digital plan, but then also a whole like portfolio of different coaches that you can connect with. Each of these different coaches have a different expertise. I happen to follow the ones that are more mindfulness oriented and do a lot of meditations. There's also ones that are big foodies, focused on like nutrition, yoga instructors. So there's a different niche for all the many different digital 360 coaches we have. And you can follow as many as you like, and they go live every day within the WW app. And we'll sometimes do like a 10-minute meditation, 10-minute cooking demo, always something different every day. If you miss it, it's always there for you to listen back on. So it's a great way to interact if you're a more on the go person. And then as the final product, unlimited workshops plus digital. This does not include the coaches available in Digital 360, but it does have all the features within the app. So you saw Mercy wave. So Mercy is a coach for members who are in this program. So we have so many different coaches with so much different experience and background. So, and virtual and in person. If you prefer going in person to our studios and the community, you have the option to do that. But you also can just from the comfort of your home, go to a virtual workshop. And those are happening all the time. When we have so many different coaches, you can look online to see their different bios and see which coach you gravitate towards the most and go from there. Also, I did want to point out that the city has their own virtual workshops that are just with employees at the city. You can see the schedule for that and find out more at www.com/US/NYC. And then this is something that we used to have prior to the pandemic, but in-person workshops. That's something that if you wanted to bring a workshop to your on-site location, if you feel comfortable and you know who your ambassadors, talk to them about the possibility of getting a group together to have an in-person workshop where you can have a coach come on site and lead workshops. And lastly, now's a great time to sign up if you are interested. So if you would like to sign up in the near future, if you sign up before the 28th of February, you'll be able to get this Start Strong kit that you see here. Just a lot of great tools and resources when you're just starting out your journey. You will need to make sure you take the extra step to redeem for the kit, but all of this can be found at www.com/US/NYC. Okay, that concludes most of the presentation part, but I know we want to take a few moments to answer any questions.
Kathleen, can I help say some of the ones that I saw come up, or you able to
Absolutely.
scan? Okay. There were some questions about registration, so perhaps they can be put into a single response. I know there was an ask about D360N meetings, and also people who are already registered but want to register through the City of New York program. I think that was the registration related questions that I saw.
Great.
Oh, sorry, one more thing. If somebody's an existing member and they want to shift to the personal points program, if there's anything special they need to do.
So the first question is just about like if you want to upgrade your account, if you're on WW but not through the city, you can do that by you can go to www.com/US/NYC to find this information, but I'm going to give you a phone number where one of our agents will help you and assist you with switching. So that number is 866-797-2836. I'll be sure to put that in the chat as well, but you can find that information at that site. So one of our agents will assist you with switching to the product that you would like. And answer to the other question. I'm sorry, Afia, can you repeat the other question real quick?
I think if someone is already a member and they're not sure if they're using the personalized points.
Okay, gotcha. If you are already a member, you already should have been automatically switched over. So they're probably, if you haven't had your point, you should have received notifications to ping you to switch over to personal points. So you will have to take an assessment just so you can create your own 0 points foods list. So if you just open the app, you'll start to see notifications to nudge you to do that.
You want to give the phone number just one more time? I don't know if you can easily put it in the chat, or I can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 866-797-2836.
Perhaps we could do one more group of questions. There was a few food related questions, so I'll just pose all of those three and see if they can be combined in a response. There was a question about family, like integrating traditional recipes and that sort of thing. And then there was also a question about non-starchy vegetables. So I don't know if Kathleen, you want to take it, if I can support, or if Mercy or Beatrice wants to speak on integrating personal recipes and also just clarifying about non-starchy vegetables.
Yeah, Mercy, I think you probably best be suited if you don't mind.
No,
I
no,
can
not
also
at all.
chime in.
Yeah, no. Believe it or not, the app is very intuitive, and there's a lot of things that you can do to make tracking easier, especially with the recipes. We do have recipe builders, we have quick adds, we have a nutritional calculator that helps you process certain things. Also, if let's say Beatrice and I are into a specific recipe that we like, when I send her the link, hey, try this, it will actually reflect the points value based on her plan specifically. So I'm not sure if that answers exactly what you needed, but it is it's a very smart app. And also we're noticing a lot of bloggers that put food out there will actually put recipes and have a link with the calculations for your points value from those based on your WW. So you click on the link from a blogger, it'll reflect you to the WW app and show you the points value for your food. So it's very intuitive.
Yeah.
I did want to note, someone mentioned here about medications, different things for radiation treatment. Believe it or not, in our WW community world, everybody is a part of this. And there's ways that you can look for other people with your same exact story, situation. And there's a lot of support in the Connect group as well.
Thank you, Mercy. I did want to mention too, just going back to like different family favorite recipes. For example, I know like my mom makes a very decadent meatloaf, but I can like put like my family favorite recipes into the app, and it's WW is going to make recommendations on how to make it healthier. So you can plug in the family favorite that you have, and it's going to make those recommendations on just how to make it just tweaks to make it healthier and good for you.
Yeah, it's like I'm Dominican. I need my rice and beans. I need my stewed chicken. I eat avocados every day. So you can get creative. For example, we for Easter we make sweet beans. I made sweet beans for the very first time last year because I couldn't get access to my mom. So I made them at home, and I use half the amount of sugar that the recipe called for. And it was super sweet, because especially if you start cutting down your sugar, you get you become actually more sensitive, and just a little bit takes you a long way. So, a little teaspoon of oil instead of using a big amount of oil. And I use tools. The air fryer has become my best friend. Sometimes I want fried chicken wings and French fries, and I make them in the air fryer with only a little bit of cooking spray, and they taste delicious.
Thank you all for your feedback. I didn't hear the non-starchy vegetable question answered. I know with the WW program, people can have individualized 0-point foods, and it might help direct you to the choices that are mostly non-starchy vegetables. But what comes to mind as a large one response to that, like thinking about leafy greens, those are typically, salad greens or cooked greens, that sort of thing. That was something that's less starchy. The starchier vegetables might be things that we sometimes would consider as the base of the plate. Something like potatoes or yams or
corn.
those sorts of things are the more starchier choices. So looking at colorful vegetables is another way to consider, the sort of diversity in the vegetables. So I hope that can speak to that just a little bit.
Yeah, like your onions, peppers,
I don't know if you can see
broccoli. Yes, I see. Yeah, it actually, Go
they're
ahead.
cited in the app. So there's in the bottom of the app, there's your 0-point foods, and non-starchy veggies are 0 for everybody across personal points. You can find an alphabetic list of all the I don't know if you can read it there, non-starchy veggies there.
Awesome. I think that perhaps the last question we can answer, and then we'll close out the presentation. There was just some clarity asked about the distinction between Digital 360 and I think the digital program. And then, sorry, I saw one that we got a lot earlier in the presentation. There was a question about individual coaching and what's available to members through the city or in general.
Yes. So individualized coaching, that's not an offer like through the partnership with the city, like WW has that, but you will have to go to our consumer site if you wanted that one-on-one coaching. And distinction between digital and digital 360. So digital 360, it's basically you have everything in the digital plan, like access to the app with all the tracking and everything. But then it's almost like another social media that exists within the app. So think of Facebook Live, these different coaches that you can choose to follow will be going live every day, and they'll talk about a different topic, and they post often about different wellness related information and check in with you. Just about like, they speak to you in a very like different way than our coaches who lead the workshops. It's very like social media oriented in the Digital 360 program. Whereas in the workshops plan, you're meeting with a coach weekly with a group of other people on the plan in a virtual or in-person setting. So there's like a little bit more separation in the Digital 360 plan. So I had mentioned it's more for like the on-the-go person. Some people like to do things a little bit more independently and don't want to, always be with a group of people in a fixed setting. So I'd say Digital 360, if you're not sure which one to go to, Digital 360 meets somewhere in the middle between those two plans.
Thanks so much. Questions about joining WW through the City of New York program, the website is there. And if folks wanted to join, the consumer sort of program is without the NYC. I think it's WW's general webpage. So the question specifically about coaching, individual coaching, which is not available to the city, they can find that through your consumer page. And then I wanted to just lastly respond to the questions about membership and length of membership. There really isn't a long-term requirement. If it's not working after your first month of joining, you can go back and say, I don't want to keep doing this. And I think that you can just cancel before the next billing would happen. And that's really the only requirement. Kathy, anything else to add there? Or does that about?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, participants. Thank you, presenters. I'm actually going to, before speaking about our upcoming programs, just wanted to get your feedback, sharing our last poll question, which is just about program satisfaction. So you can share about your experience, about the quality of this webinar. And I'll leave that up for a moment or two. And I'm hopeful that most of you, got some great benefit. Excellent. Thank you for the feedback. All right, and I will move ahead and share with you about what else is coming from WorkWell NYC. We have always have many programs and offerings, and as part of this Renew You series, there is another workshop in 2 weeks. So please visit our upcoming events page to learn more about that. We also are relaunching our Artist Life project. And if you're an artist, this might be of interest, or if you just appreciate arts and culture, either way, there are opportunities to get involved. So that also is available at the upcoming events webpage. And then just staying in touch with WorkWell NYC in general, all of the details are here for our social media, for our email, if there are follow-up questions about WW or other topics, wellness topics. And we'd love for you to stay in touch, continuing to join us for upcoming presentations, and then just staying in touch, giving us feedback, letting us know how things are going for you, what more you want to see from us. So that concludes our presentation. Again, we're really happy to have had you all join with us. Thanks again for the presenters, and hopefully we'll see you again at another similar event.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye now.